At the time of this recording, I am 25 years old, and if I could go back in time and talk to my younger self just to avoid him all the pain, shame, and rejection with women, here's exactly what I'd say. Number 1, most men will die without ever experiencing their deepest fantasies. And if you look at the guys around you, guys in your social circle, your friends, or even men in your family, most men had these crazy dreams or ideas of how they would date these beautiful models, how they would travel to Brazil and Ibiza with all these beautiful girls, how they would find their dream women. But that's not the default for most guys. Statistically, the odds are against you. You're not meant to have an abundant dating life. You're not even meant to date your dream girl. You're supposed to live a very average, boring, mediocre life. Now, there's two ways you can see this. You can get offended by that and be like, this can't be true. This guy is just an arrogant, cocky, like maybe I am. Or you can look at this and be like, well, maybe he's right. Maybe statistically, I'm not supposed to date all these beautiful women. That's not the default. That's not normal. Number 2, you can't be sexual around women because you've been brainwashed to believe it's bad and predatory. Every guy has this animalistic, masculine self inside of him. The problem is just that this primitive essence gets taken out of us by society. Society doesn't want strong, masculine, aligned men who are actually okay with their sexuality. And in fact, there's nothing toxic about being a masculine dude. The only thing toxic is when you don't have any masculinity and you're not able to be sexual with women. Your parents and your grandparents had to be sexual to create life, but you're scared to show your true intentions to a woman? It doesn't make any sense. Number 3, she needs to love you more than you love her. And this is gonna piss off a lot of people, but the only types of relationships I've seen to be successful over time are the ones where the girl likes the guy a little bit more than he likes her. And there is this myth of equality and every relationship should be perfectly equal. In every relationship, be it romantic or even business-wise networking, you have a power dynamic. There's always one person reacting more to the other. That perfect equilibrium where everybody is equal and everybody loves each other equally, it doesn't exist. It exists in fairy tales or feminist agendas, but not in real life. And trust me, you don't want to be the one who loves her more than she loves you. You always want to be the one on the right side of the power dynamic. Number 4, you have to be okay with people not liking you. The number 1 skill you can have, dating, business, or just in life in general, is the ability to do, to act, to think, to be, despite what other people think. I'm recording this video that some people might think is cringe. I'm right now mentioning points and explaining my vision of the world that some people might disagree with. But unless you are 100% aligned with who you are and okay with people not liking you, you're really not living life. You're just being in a reactive, defensive state that is horrible and that you should never be in. Number 5, most men would rather tell themselves comforting lies than take accountability. And if you look at most guys around you and you ask them why they're not dating the kind of girl they want to date, or why they don't have the abundance they want, or why they're just not fulfilled, they'll usually say stuff like, it's because of how I look, or it's because I'm not advanced enough in my career, I'm not making the right amount of money, or women in my town, in my city are not good. And it's very comfortable to blame your own inadequacies on external factors, or sometimes even internal. Yeah, maybe you don't look the way you should look. Maybe you're not making the money you should make, but there are things that are in your control. And it's just not a masculine trait to have, to constantly be in this blaming victim mentality. And it doesn't even help you. So stop being a bitch and take some accountability over your dating life. Number 6, women would rather share a diamond than have a piece of wood for themselves. And this is 100% true. Women would rather share a high-value guy than have a loser for themselves. How come there's some guys who are literally dating dozens of women at the same time, and some other men are struggling to even get one to like them? And the reason is simple. It's because there's a value discrepancy. Some men are just more valuable on the dating and sexual market, and you need to accept this fact. And the crazy thing is, I've dated multiple women who said they wanted to be with one man and they would never accept the fact that their husband or boyfriend would date other women. And they're still with me. And I'm not dating just one woman. And honestly, you can keep living in denial, or you can just accept that fact and realize that once women see you as valuable enough, you're actually able to date multiple women at the same time. Not that you should do this, but you can. Number 7, the better you get at talking to women, the less you care about sex. And it is very ironic because in the beginning, when you start getting into dating, talking to girls, well, obviously you're very outcome focused, right? It's about getting dates, going home with girls. But the more you girls, the more you realize, hey, this isn't actually that fun. It's really overhyped. And what's really fun actually is the process itself. And I know it sounds weird you watching this video right now, but I can tell you, this was in 2021. I was in this 5-star hotel in Italy with a really gorgeous Asian girl. And I was literally inside of her in the bedroom, and I was thinking to myself, I wish I could be outside right now talking to other girls. I know it sounds crazy, but I was that much in love with the process of meeting women that was more fun than the actual result. It's kind of like all my business friends, when I ask them if they were happy after they made the money, they say, yeah, it's fun, but honestly, I was even happier when I was working on the business and I had this crazy mission and I was working every day until 2 a.m. on the same thing. Number 8, if you need a woman to feel complete, you'll never attract a high-quality one. And that is so true, because women, but especially high-quality women, they're not looking for a guy who needs them or has or is lacking something. They're looking for someone who is absolutely abundant and complete as an individual. And that is the best type of relationship, where you're complete in yourself, she is also complete, and then you have two complete individuals putting themselves together, and that creates magic. But when you're lacking and you have this underlying need to be with someone, she will just sense it, and it's extremely unattractive, it's repelling, and this is why you can't ever need a woman to feel complete. Number 9, never negotiate with your brain. The second you see a girl you really like, your brain will come up with the craziest and weirdest excuses on why you shouldn't go talk to her. This is not the right moment, she's too tall for me, she's too good looking for me, she probably has a boyfriend. And if you start entering that discussion, if you start negotiating with your brain, you can't even enter that negotiation. And the easiest way to counter that is by doing something called the 3-second rule. So every time you see a girl you really like, you should give yourself 3 seconds to go up to her. Because if you only give yourself 3 seconds to go up to a girl, you're not even going to be able to come up with excuses, because you'll already be talking to her. And I remember this was in Switzerland maybe 7-8 years ago. I saw this absolute stunner in the middle of my city. It was snowy, it was in November, and I just saw her and I thought to myself, I really want to talk to her, but let me just wait. And I don't know why as guys we have this idea that if we wait, it's gonna get easier, the fear is gonna go. I ended up wasting 2 hours of my life because for 30 minutes I waited sitting in a cafe and I couldn't talk to her. But then I was still stuck in my head for the rest of the evening, and I didn't talk to anyone else either. That just goes to show that you want to reduce friction by taking action. Just go up immediately to her. It's going to be much easier. Number 10, most women don't want a relationship. They want the story of falling for a high-status man. And what I mean by that is guys have this idea that women are like us guys. They're super logical, because for us guys, in an ideal scenario, we would go up to our dream woman and be like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? Yes, no, problem solved. And you're just together with her. But that's not how women function. Women don't... Sure, they want a relationship, but they don't want a relationship with you. They don't want a relationship with the wrong guy. They want a relationship that's sort of happens by accident. They want to have this adventure narrative in their mind that they can tell their girlfriends about, like, oh, I just randomly encountered this guy at the ice cream shop, and then we had a little back and forth, and then we went to the beach together, and then this happened, and it has to be this adventure. So the first premise is you need to be a high-value guy, because if you're not high-value, this video is not for you, and you're just gonna have a lot of trouble dating quality women. And the second thing is, when you approach women, you want to make it seem like an accident, like an adventure, even if it's not, even if it's totally planned. I'll give you an example. There was this one girl in Paris that I approached maybe 2 years ago, and I was actually jogging, and I just randomly see her, and I think to myself, oh, let me go talk to her. And I just go up to her like, oh my God, I'm out of breath, which was actually true. I was out of breath. And I was like, but I had to say hi. You just cut me in the middle of my training. And that's a much more interesting, fun premise than you going up to a girl without any reason. You can do that, but if you can add that extra spice, that extra adventure element, it will turn good conversations into excellent ones. Number 11, talking to girls is more about the man you become than the actual results. So most of my clients, when they joined my program and I coached them, in the beginning, it's really about wanting to get results. I want to get my first number. I want to get my first date. I want to be able to talk to a woman and go home with her. But the more you go through the process and you achieve these things, the more you realize it was never about women in the first place. It was actually always about me and becoming the best version of myself. Women was just the excuse to tap into my highest, most noble self. And often as men, we need those external reasons to level up. From what I've realized in my own personal life, the two biggest fears for men are, number one, talking to women. That is just super scary. And number two, fighting and being in the cage with another man who wants to take your life. I'm kickboxing, I'm boxing myself, and I can tell you that these two things alone, learning combat sports, but also working on your social muscle and improving with women, those two things will just make you better than any man who is making crazy money but doesn't do these things. Number 12, getting a girlfriend is easy. Getting a high-quality girlfriend from a place of choice is not. Most guys just get into a relationship with the first girl who gives them some affection. And it's usually some average, mediocre, kinda chubby girl they're not even excited about. But how many guys do you know are truly, and I say truly, be honest, in a relationship with their dream girl on every aspect? Someone who is really physically a 9 or a 10, matches their values, is adorable, has the exact kind of personality they're looking for, supports them on their vision, on their dreams, on their goals. How many guys in your social circle, in your friends, really have that sort of relationship? Not many. And this is why there's a massive difference between settling and selecting. You never want to be the kind of guy who is 28, 30, 35 years old and just settles with the first girl who kind of gives him some Don't be that guy. There's too much choice, too much abundance on this planet for you to settle. Become the best man and then choose from a place of choice. Number 13, women want a man who doesn't need them. They want a man who doesn't need them but is able to be with them. And that is the fantasy of most women, because women are by definition hypergamous. Hypergamous comes from the Greek hyper, better, gamous, relationship. They want to always be in the better, bigger relationship with the biggest fish. And so by you not needing a woman, you're subcommunicating that you're able to get other women, and that is just super attractive to women who want to be with you. Number 14, your attractiveness isn't based on how good you look, it's based on how much certainty you project. And this one is so true. I've seen guys who are typically not the best looking guys, but the sheer amount of delusional certainty they have compensates for anything else. And I have this one guy I went to school with who he himself even said, I'm not the best looking dude. He was objectively not a good looking dude. But I can tell you for a fact, this guy was getting laid every single week with the hottest women in the entire school. Why? Because when you would just talk to him, he never doubted himself. He was never unsure. There was zero nervousness, and he just talked to every single girl in the school. He had this vibe of like, I know exactly who I am. Nobody can doubt me. And that was super fucking attractive to women, despite his not great looks. So you can choose to stay in your victim mindset and blame your genetics or your looks and that it's not my fault, it's because of my parents. Well, okay, don't change anything. Just watch this video and that's it. Don't take action. Or you can be like, yeah, that's how I look. I can improve some things, but I absolutely need to work on my certainty. And I can tell you for a fact, certainty is the #1 most attractive social trait for women. Like, if there's one thing you can keep from this video, it's be more certain. Even if you're not, you need to make people believe that you are. You need to pretend that you are. Number 15, the less you explain yourself, the more powerful you seem. And this is one advice I wish I had when I was younger, because when I would go on dates, I would just blabber and yap about myself and about my values and just who I am and how I see the world. But sometimes it's just better to shut the fuck up and say less. Because if you tell her everything about yourself, there is no mystery left. She now knows everything. And you definitely don't want to be in that situation. So speak less and let that mystery talk for you. Number 16, women remember how you made them feel more than what you said. So I remember being at this electronic music festival in 2017 that was in Switzerland. If any of you heard about or were really into dubstep and Skrillex, this was basically the biggest dubstep festival in Europe. That was in Switzerland, in my town. And there was this absolutely gorgeous girl in the middle of the crowd, and I just talked to her because she was gorgeous, and we ended up talking for 1 hour about dubstep. And like 10 minutes before the concert ends, this one dude comes up to her and just talks shit for like 5 minutes, kisses her instantly, and goes home with her. And so, yeah, I was the dubstep guy, I was the nice guy who had a nice conversation, but I didn't make her feel any type of way. And so if there's one thing you can take away from this video, don't be the dubstep guy. Don't have conversations with women that are very informational, but not emotional. That is the biggest thing you need to keep in mind. It's not about what you say, it's about how you make her feel. Number 17, become so excellent she can't leave you. And this is really once you're already in the dating stage or once she is your girlfriend, but continuously work on your value and never ever stop improving yourself, especially when you're in a relationship. Because one common mistake guys make is the second they get into a relationship, they think, oh, now I can just chill, I can stop working hard because I have the relationship, I have the continuous source of That is genuinely how most guys think. They think, now that I have a chick, I can just be lazy. Wrong. That's exactly when you can't stop improving. Because women have biologically more options than us, right? We have to level up in order to get to a point where we can have options. So even if she's in a relationship with you, she's thinking of other guys. She has the pizza guy, her weird cousin, some dude from school messaging her. And so she has all of these side options ready for the second you flop, for the second you start getting weak. She knows how to replace you. Don't get replaced. Number 18, the men who get laid the most are the least available. And if your time is too easy to get, you're really already losing. If she knows you're always available and you're always here to see you, there's no price tag on your attention. There needs to be a price tag. Your time, your attention needs to be so valuable. She thinks to herself, hey, if I meet with this guy, I better do something, I make something happen, because this guy is not just gonna meet me 3 times, 5 times just to chat around. And a lot of you guys, the reason why you get friend-zoned is because you don't put a price tag on your time, on your attention. Women see you as the fun gay friend because that's how you want them to perceive you. Your time has no value. You just go hang out and drink coffees with her without having any sexual tension, and then you go bowling with her and you buy food for her. That's your ticket to friend-zone land. You should be focused on your stuff, make money, hit the gym, travel, network, improve, learn. That's what you should be doing. Number 19, Instagram is the best dating app ever created. If you do it right, 100%. Think 30 years back in time. If you were the #1 club bouncer in your city on a given Friday or Saturday night, how many women could you realistically talk to? Maybe 30, 40, let's be very generous and say 80. Okay, cool. Like that's your pool, that's your limit. There's only so many women you can meet in real life. But what Instagram did, it was able to scale attraction and scale your persona the digital way. Because Instagram is really nothing else but an extension of your personality. I can talk to a girl in public, but I can also put an attractive story of me on Instagram and have 300 attractive women see that, they repost that, some of their friends see that, and then I get DMs of women who want to see me. It nurtures my profile. How much more powerful is that than just meeting women in real life? In fact, you should do both, but never underestimate the power of Instagram. And the second reason is because every chick is on Instagram all day. Like, that's all they do. Okay, maybe not everything. They're also on TikTok, but they're always on Instagram. And if you don't leverage that, if you don't use that to get what you want, well, you're not winning. You're not in the competition. So be smart. Number 20, give yourself 3 seconds to talk to any girl you like. We briefly covered that before, but there's a reason it's called the 3-second rule and not the 3-second advice. It's a rule because if you break it, your millions of years of evolution of fear and trying to protect yourself, trying to protect your ego will just come and you're not going to talk to her. And it's also called the 3-second rule and not the 5-minute rule, because if you give yourself more than 3 seconds, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to approach her. So don't be that guy. Give yourself 3 seconds and go talk to her. Number 21, every time you don't talk to a girl you like, you die a little bit inside. And this is one of my favorite quotes that I actually came up with. I'm being very humble here. But think about it this way. You think most men die at the age of 80, 85, maybe 90 years old. Truth is, most men, if you look around you, are really already dead at age 25, 28, 30, some 35, 40 years old. Like there's a lot of men who are in their 30s and 40s, and if you look in their eyes, in their pupil, you can just see the sadness, the lack of courage, the lack of action taking in their teens and in their 20s. And it's really sad. You can just see how many men f***ed up their early life by not doing the things they were supposed to do. And even I feel it. When I saw a girl I really liked and I didn't say hi to her, which didn't happen because I talked to every girl I liked for the past 7 years. This is true. But when I saw a girl and I wanted to talk to her, if I didn't say hi to her, I felt like I'm dying a little bit inside because I'm going against my values, against my rules. And this is why you need to create a rule for yourself. Like, hey, I'm gonna talk to every girl I like, or I'm gonna talk to one girl per week, or I'm gonna say hi to one girl when I'm in a coffee shop. It doesn't matter what your rule is, but you need to have a rule and you need to live in accordance with that. Otherwise, you're just breaking your values, and this is why you don't have confidence. Number 22, your fear of rejection is keeping you lonely and miserable. 100%. Your fear of making that move, talking to that girl, literally just saying hi, that is keeping you single. It's not some crazy matrix. It's not the social media companies or feminism. It's you and your own fears that is self-inflicted. And I can tell you for a fact, I approached thousands of women in my life. I've helped hundreds of guys do this. And I still, to this day, have anxiety at times when I see a really cute girl. So the anxiety, the fear is never going to leave. That's part of the game. It's how you react to it that is going to change your life. I still feel lack of motivation sometimes when I'm supposed to go to the gym on a Sunday morning and I don't want to. I have those natural inclinations, those natural feelings, of course, but it's your job as a man to go against those and do what's right. Number 23, talking to more women will solve 99% of your problems. If I look at the issues and problems of my clients, most of them can really be solved by having more girls in their life. Think about it. If you had more women in your life, how much more confident would you be? Knowing that, oh, you have abundance, you have the options to call someone tonight, or you have the options to date or see another girl next week, you would be way more confident. And since you would be more confident, you would probably talk to more girls because you would see yourself as the prize. You would see yourself as the kind of guy who's valuable. And since you're talking to more girls, you would probably go on more dates. And since you're going on more dates, you're probably having more experiences with girls and feeling more confident. So you're really creating this loop of positivity by just talking to more women. And the reason I make these videos is to induce change, to force you or inspire you to take action. I can't force you for now. If you're not in the program, I can't. But just see it from a mathematical perspective. The more reps you put in, how likely is it that you will get worse at dating and women and social skills by putting in more reps? It would be delusional to think that you would not get better in the gym by going more to the gym, or you would make more money by working harder or more hours on your business. And it's the exact same thing with women. But for some reason, us guys like to believe there's some secret hack or there's this little secret on how to really fix our dating life and get better at this. No, just talk to more women. Number 24, stop giving attention to women who don't want you. And if I could go back to my 18-year-old self, I would scream this in his face. The amount of girls on Instagram or dating apps I texted and they were not responding, they ghosted me, or they just really didn't want to see me. I could have saved so much time and talked to women who were interested in me. Because the truth is, if a girl wants to see you, she will let you know. There's no such thing as I was busy or I was doing my homework. If Brad Pitt was here, would she be doing her homework? Probably not. If she's doing her homework, leave that bitch. Number 25, getting back with your ex is the biggest insult to yourself. And when a girl leaves you or dumps you, what she's really saying is, I don't believe in your future. I'm not investing in you as a man. And by you being a bitch about it and going back with her, you're communicating that you have absolutely zero standards, you don't value yourself, and you have zero self-respect. What kind of absolute weasel-level loser do you have to be to get back with someone who told you they don't want to be with you? There's 4 billion women out there. Now take away all the grandmas, kids, handicapped, maybe not handicapped, some of them are really cute, but take away all the people who you can't be with. That's still hundreds of millions of people you could be with. And you want to be, and out of all of these people, you want to be with the one person who told you they don't want to be with you anymore? That's just retarded. Simply stupid. Number 26, the wrong woman will destroy your life. And I can't emphasize this more, but the amount of smart dudes who are killing it in their business, in their sports, but who just chose the wrong women and they completely destroyed their life is crazy. There's one guy I started helping 2 years ago who was a professional tennis athlete, and he was with a girl who stopped giving him affection. She didn't support him in his goals. She would get mad when he came late at night after training. She didn't even cook for him or support him. And he tolerated that for 8 years until he joined the program and decided to stop doing this shit. And my dad always used to say the two biggest mistakes you can make as a man is number one, choosing the wrong career, and number two, choosing the wrong woman. And until you really found a quality girl who actually supports you in your life, in your business, and is really there for you, you don't know what's possible because you haven't tapped into that thing yet. So choose wisely. Number 27, never stop talking to other girls, especially when you're in a relationship. And this one is gonna piss off a lot of people. But what most guys do is they get into a relationship and they start getting lazy. They start thinking, oh, now I have my girl. There's nothing else I need to do. She's always gonna love me. She's always gonna be attracted to me. Well, guess what? No. The reason she liked you in the first place is what you stop doing now. It doesn't make any sense. Keep working on your social muscle. Keep talking to women in public, even if you don't have the goal of sleeping with them, even if you don't have the goal of making them your girlfriend, but you need to stay on the ball, stay in the game. Otherwise, you're really becoming lazy. And I've seen guys who are 28, 30, and they're 35 years old, and they become this amorph creature who now thinks everything is there and they don't need to do anything, and their girlfriend loses massive attraction and respect for them. Don't be that guy. Number 28, the highest quality girls are not in clubs or dating apps. The best girls I've dated, I've met in coffee shops, on the street, at the bus stop, in hotel lobbies. When I think of what my dream girl looks like, this is not somebody who goes out at 2 a.m. to drink tequila shots with some Pedro, or display her pictures on dating apps to get the validation of wackos and weirdos. The type of girl I like is living her life. She's doing Pilates in the morning, she goes to coffee shops to learn a language, read a book, she goes for walks in a park. Basically, she's living life. And unless you're able to talk to women in any type of situation and capitalize on that, you'll always be in this weird situation where you're relying on luck, dating apps, clubs, and just low-quality women. Number 29, you're not supposed to feel ready. So many guys have this idea in mind that in order to start working on their dating life, they need to make 10K a month, they need to first fix their body, or whatever that means. So many guys think that they have to have the perfect situation to talk to a girl or start working on their dating life. The perfect situation is now. If you don't start doing this now, you will regret it later. You don't need to wait to make 50K a month. You don't need to wait to get a Hollywood six-pack to start working on your social skills and living a fun dating life. In fact, I would go as far as saying it is, for many guys I helped, working on their dating life was the initial trigger for them improving in other aspects. Because guess what? If you talk to people in public, you socialize, you become more confident, that will enable you to maybe say, hey, maybe I might as well go more to the gym. And now you go more to the gym, you look better, you might as well work more on your money. And that's how your whole life improves, by starting without perfect conditions. I didn't feel ready making this video. In fact, I'm reading the bullet points from my phone. I have a dirty shirt. This shirt is super sweaty, and I still made the video. Nothing has to be perfect for you to get started. And last but not least, number 30, if you don't make talking to girls fun, you will struggle eternally. And there's really two types of clients I had. Number one is the one who sees everything as a difficult process. Everything has to be hard. When I gave him homework, it felt like a chore. It's painful, it's hard. And then there's a second type of client who is having fun through the process. Crazy. Who would have thought you can actually have fun while improving? It's the same with business or fitness, but the guy who has fun while doing things is just going to survive, because there will be issues, there will be roadblocks, you will get rejected, women will not like you, some people will ghost you, you will face hardships, so you might as well have fun while doing it. So stop being in this robotic, autistic frame of like, it has to be difficult. No, have fun, man. What is the reason we do all of this in the first place? We want to have fun. Why do we want to talk to women? Why do we want to meet women? We want to have crazy experiences. We want to travel with them. We want to watch Netflix with them, have a beautiful girlfriend. We want to do all of these fun things. Have fun. Now, listen, if even one of these hit you in the chest, good. That means you're waking up. Most men will watch a video like this and do absolutely nothing. But a few realize that knowing the truth isn't enough. You have to become the kind of man who naturally attracts women, not just understands them. If that's you and you're done watching from the sidelines, then click the link below and let's actually change this part of your life. This is your shot. Don't waste it.